Good evening, everyone. My name is Eva Getz, and it's a pleasure for me to see so many of you, a lot of new names, but I can see also the participants who have been with us for the long time. So welcome to everyone. I hope it's a nice evening. We had a horrible storm here in Warsaw, but now it's getting much better. So I think that on this rather chilly evening, it would be a pleasure for you to listen about holidays and about things which probably can be useful while you're traveling abroad. I'm sure that at the end of August, most of you is just after long summer holidays, but I hope that some of you may be just before, or if not, this knowledge will be useful for the future travels. Oh yeah, we've got a message from Tomasz that it's sunny in Poznań, so we envy Poznań. Anya is from Poznań, actually. Right, so shall we move on? Some of you who paid closer attention to the title of today's meeting may wonder what was my idea to name this webinar, The World is Not Enough. Well, it's not a big secret that I'm a great fan of James Bond's films, and when I was thinking about the title, which would lead us into the language of traveling, the title of the film just came up, and I thought it would be fun. So James will appear during our presentation, and here we can see Pierce Brosnan, and then he will also show us some idioms. Be patient, it will come soon. The structure of today's meeting is following. First we will look at some idioms connected with traveling. Then we will have a quick look at different types of holiday places. Then few hints how to arrange holidays, what kind of language use. Vehicles, so types of transport which can be used for holiday traveling, and then what can happen at the hotel and what language can be helpful. Close and funny look at multicultural aspect of traveling, and last but not the least, holiday activities. Right, so let's start with some idioms. Idioms which we use for everyday purposes, but in a sense they come from world of travel. Generally it is believed, and we have exactly the same saying in Polish, that travel and traveling broadens the mind. So it means the more you travel, the more you know about the world, different cultures, languages, therefore your mind expands. And as you can see in the example, we can use this phrase in the following way. Everyone who gets the chance should go abroad. Why? Because travel broadens the mind. Okay? The next one, which is quite funny, but very symptomatic for modern world, itchy feet. When something itches, yeah, you need to scratch your skin, like mosquito bites you, and then you feel itchy skin. With feet, it means that you don't stay in one place for long, that you like moving from place to place, that you change the place of living. 2 years in Paris, 1 year in Barcelona. This kind of people are called itchy feet, or we say that they have got itchy feet, like this Andrew from the example, because he wants to teach in China for a few years. Okay. Some of people, because of their profession, they live out of a suitcase. That means that due to their work, they have to change place of living very often. Not once a year, but let's say once a week they are in 2 different cities. So this phrase can be put in the following context, that for example living out of a suitcase away from home may be, for example, cause of stress among people, among business people. So live out of a suitcase. Well, we can look at a different type of a suitcase, a pink one, and this elegant lady definitely she travels light. If you travel light, it means that you're packing your things in a very reasonable way. Therefore, you don't take a lot of stuff with you, and it is advisable to travel light. Okay, let's see the example. My new car has got lots of cargo space, which is great for people like me who don't travel light. So the person who says this definitely needs more than this little posh pink suitcase. Okay, oh, here is James again, and at the picture he's definitely drinking his favorite drink, so martini. Shaken, not stirred. Yes, Anna. And let's hope this is one for the road. One for the road is the last drink you drink before leaving the party. So you encourage people for the last drink, you invite people for the last drink, and if you say this is one for the road, it means that that would be your last one, and you're just about to leave the party. Okay? So I don't advise to have one for the road and then hit the road, because hit the road means to start journey. It's not only about cars, it's about all kind of journeys, all kind of traveling. If you hit the road, you just give the signal that it's high time to start your way, right? Like in the example, let's hit the road. Okay, now you're seeing a very attractive perspective, very attractive view of the mountains. Definitely this biker is off the beaten track, so he's not biking, he or she, I'm not sure. He's biking on a special kind of path which is not beaten. The idiom is used for describing people who don't tend to be in the mainstream, but they have courage to have their own ways. They are original, they are not following trends, but as I said, they have courage, they are brave enough to defend their own ideas and be a little bit eccentric. So the example shows you, illustrates the meaning. Her tastes in reading tend to be off the beaten track. So it means that she's reading, books which are not trendy, but interesting for her. The exact opposite of this idiom is the one that you can see now, middle of the road, M-O-R. If you're middle of the road, if you read middle of the road books, if you listen middle of the road music, it means that you're following very popular trends. And like in the example, he only likes M-O-R music. So he's probably listening to Radio Z. Okay, here is James again. He comes to us this time to illustrate the meaning of backseat driver. This one comes directly from the world of cars. I'm sure a lot of you experienced the situation when you were driving your car and you had a friend or a member of the family sitting just next to you or, in the back seat and advising you how to drive, where to turn, saying, oh, you should slow down, you should speed up, etc., etc. Personally, I hate backseat drivers, but this idiom came into more metaphorical meaning and started to be used to describe people who give you a lot of useless pieces of advice. So like the example says, stop being such a backseat driver, you will only make things worse. So annoying advisor is a backseat driver. Doesn't drive himself, but gives you advice. Hopefully, when you're on the road, you won't experience a road rage, which is now kind of criminal case in countries like United Kingdom. Road rage is a set of very aggressive behaviors between drivers, like beating, swearing, or doing horrible things on the road because of the traffic jams, because of the bad way of driving. Look at the example. It can be a cause of many, many accidents, so road rage. We've been on the road, metaphorically, but let's change the vehicle. To be in the same boat, we have quite similar idiom, or rather saying in Polish. We describe the situation when two or more people are in the kind of unpleasant situation that they share, and they have to somehow cope with it. Here is like collective feeling that factory workers found themselves in the same boat. So unpleasant, difficult situation which they share. Right, so time for the first quiz. Do you remember which idiom stands for starting the journey? If you do remember, could you write in the chat box? Okay. Hit the road. Fantastic. This is hit the road. Yeah. Gabriel, Tomasz, Małgorzata, Anna, Katarzyna, a lot of good answers. So let's hit the road, meaning, okay, let's go. Let's go. Start the journey. What is the word? What is the expression for annoying advisor? Somebody who gives you, yes, Tomasz, backseat driver, Małgorzata, Anna, Piotr, Dagmara, Dorota. Oh God, yeah, a lot of right answers. And the last one, how do we call the same yet difficult situation? Yeah, we are in the same boat. Exactly. Again, so I hope that at least these three will be kept preciously in your memory. Okay, so let's move on. Let's look at some holiday places which can be interesting for us. Let's start with a simple one. And it would be a campsite. So quite informal place where you can put up your tent and spend, you know, as I said, quite informal holidays. Okay, we had a little bit more because self-catering flat, so just you rent a flat and you use it. You can share the cost with other people. Guest house or B&B, which stands for bed and breakfast. If you don't mind sleeping with 10 other strangers in one room, you can go for youth hostel, low cost, or if you cherish your luxury lifestyle, you can go for a 5-star hotel. One language point in constructions like this, when you have a number 5 and then you have a noun, you never put S, right? So we have something like a $12 note, a 3-year-old girl. Never put S at the end of such a phrase, right? Okay, so we've decided to choose a place, a kind of way of spending our holidays, and now we need to arrange them. So the first thing, we look for vacancies. Vacancy, in other words, free place, free room, or whatever you decide from the previous slide. And then, if you've decided, you can ask about facilities. My question is, do you know what facilities are? What can stand for facilities in this context of hotels? Right? Can you write in the chat box? What is the facility? Gym, air conditioning, yeah, exactly. Wi-Fi, swimming pool, very good. Car park, exactly. You can have some shops, you can have hairdresser, you can have some services for children, a spa, towels, yeah, exactly. So all extra things, equipment that you can get. So if you've decided to choose this place, then you book or reserve it. You can use both terms. Somehow you are asked to pay in advance. If you do payment in advance. It means you pay before something happens. Yes, so you pay now, but you go on holidays in September. All right. If something goes wrong, hopefully not, what you've got to do, you cancel the booking. Right. Let's look at different types of booking. The first one is very easy. We can book a room which is single. If we go together, two people, we can book double or twin. My question is, do you know a difference between double and twin? Both are for two people, but there is kind of significant difference. What can you find in a double room and what can you find in a twin room? Any ideas? Yes, you know that one is about one big bed and the other is about two single beds. Which is what? Which is which? Yeah, some of you got it right. Some of you were almost right. So to cut the story short, double room is with one big bed and twin room is with two single beds. Sometimes it makes a difference. Okay, so let's move on. In a family room, you can expect some small extra beds for children. Okay, suite is something which consists of more than one room, two or even three, joined by one corridor. If you have plenty of money and you don't care, you can rent a penthouse at the top of the hotel with stunning and breathtaking views, or you can go for half board. In half board you will receive breakfast and dinner, or you can go for a full board, usually also called all-inclusive. Okay. Few expressions. I'd like to book a single double room. I'd like a room with a sea view. Is service included? Are you fully booked? Is it all-inclusive? And now time for the short test to check if you're with us. So which word describes collectively services, equipment, places, everything which makes your life easier and which is provided by a hotel? All right, a lot of answers. Yes, and all of them absolutely right, although we have some doubts. Right, these are facilities, exactly. So everything collectively is called facilities. Right, thank you very much for participating in this little game. Now that we've selected the place, we need to think about the way of getting there. Means of transport. We can go by plane, by train, by car, by coach, by ship, or we can use completely different method. We can do some hitchhiking. Do you know what hitchhiking is? When we say that we do hitchhiking, do we travel by plane, train, car, coach, ship? Yeah, some people say traveling by food. Definitely that's the very romantic and cheap, bit dangerous way of stopping cars on the road and just traveling wherever they take you, a car or truck. Good. So we've decided to choose transportation. So let's look at some language connected with traveling by plane. Well, definitely, in order to travel by train, we need to go to the airport. So now, for a few slides, we will be at the airport. Definitely moving towards check-in. But before that, checking on the departures board, what's the situation with our flight? As you probably know, flights are always described by the combination of letters and numbers. You've got time, you've got the number of flight, you have destination, very often the number of gate is provided, and in this section remarks we have the current status of the plane. It's either on time or delayed or cancelled or landed. Okay, so we're just going to depart, and we're at the check-in desk where they weigh. Please mind the pronunciation, where they weigh the luggage. If the weight of the luggage is over 20 kilos or over 23 or 25, depending on destination and airlines, then you have to pay for the excess baggage, or you can repack to your hand baggage. Mind that we can use these two words exchangeably, so luggage or baggage, it's exactly the same. Once we've done it, we receive boarding card or boarding pass, and we proceed and we go towards passport control. We pass through passport control, and the next step is security control, these days quite thorough. One word which I didn't put here, but you will get it in the materials, is a kind of new way of thorough search of passengers, and it's called frisking, when they search you using electronic devices. But all of that in extended version will come to you on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. We'll send it on Tuesday. Excess baggage, it means, we've got a question, excess baggage, it means that you have more in your suitcase than you're allowed. Okay, so the regular luggage or baggage is 20 kilos, and your suitcase weighs, let's say, 28. So then you have to pay for these extra, and you're informed that this is excess baggage. Okay, we've done it, we passed through. Now it's this nice time just before departure, so we can spend it in the departure lounge. Just walk around duty-free shops, but we have to be careful about boarding time, because otherwise they will call our name. And if we are successful enough, if we are not lost in duty-free shop, we get on a plane. All right. Hopefully, with no delay, the plane will take off. In English, we don't say start, we say take off. So planes in English, they take off. And in flight, on board, we are assisted by nice-looking people and professional pilots. So cabin crew and flight attendants. The word steward and stewardess are reserved for ships and boats. In aviation, we rather call these helpful, nice people flight attendants. During the flight, you can hear following announcements from the pilot or from the flight attendants. Put your hand luggage in the overhead locker. So this is this place over your head. Then fasten your seat belts. Turn off all electronic devices, although I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, I saw it on the news that one of the, I believe that was Qantas, Australian Airlines, they allowed, as the first airline, they allowed their passengers to use mobile phones during the flight. So maybe in the years to come you won't hear this announcement, but definitely you should put your seats in the upright position. And the pilot during the flight may inform you what is the altitude, that is height, of your flight. So if the pilot says we are cruising at an altitude, you know that this is your position. Okay, hopefully the flight was good with no turbulences, and we should wish that after each takeoff we have a good landing, so the plane takes off or lands. We get off a plane, we proceed, we go to baggage reclaim. Baggage reclaim is this big ring on which you can find your suitcases. If not, unfortunately, you have to consult lost luggage point. Okay, one of the last things to do is to pass through customs, and if you need, hire or rent a car at the airport. 3 more phrases to come when you're talking about traveling by plane. If you want to inquire about the status, you can ask the following question: is the takeoff delayed? Or if you want to inquire about the precise time of landing, what time are we landing? If you're transferring at some airport, to transfer means not to go directly from point A to B, but, for example, to change planes. Frankfurt is one of the most popular places in Europe for doing so. Okay, do you remember which phrases can be created using the word duty? Yes, very good. Duty free. All right, so duty free. Overhead, yes, a lot of you write the correct answer. Overhead locker. Locker is generally a kind of a little cupboard. Yeah, at the swimming pool you have the locker, at the gym. And excess baggage. So duty free, overhead locker, excess baggage. Thank you very much for so active participation, because we can see a lot of answers in our chat box. If not by plane, maybe you would like to travel by rail. Very often at British railway stations you will hear something like, return to Manchester, please. Return ticket is the ticket from London to Manchester and back, and you buy it at once. Therefore, the price is about 30% lower. So this is a very popular way of buying tickets. You may ask for advice, and somebody may advise you to change trains at Waterloo, meaning Waterloo Station, of course. Or if you are lost at one of those huge railway stations, you can ask for help in the following way. Excuse me, where is the platform number 4? Okay, but I'm thinking about a Polish way of traveling, and I think that one of the most popular, even if you travel abroad, is travel by car. So here is the word which doesn't have pleasant connotations in Polish, caravan. Do you know what's the English meaning for that? How can we connect caravan with holidays? What kind of vehicle is it? Do you know? Can you write in the chat box? Yeah, Bartosz is quite right. Ivona as well. I like the explanation. It's kind of house on wheels. Yeah, big car for sleeping. I love your answers. Yes, this is the caravan. So nothing wrong with using this word. No bad connections. It's just a kind of a mobile home which you use for your holidays. Estate car. If we don't have a caravan, we can also have quite a lot of space, and we can put a lot of luggage in a estate car. So what kind of a car it is? Yeah, Tomasz, you're right, but I'm waiting for more answers. A car in which you can put a big dog, children, bicycles. Yeah, very good, Piotr. A car with a longer boot. I like this. I like this explanation. So here you can see this is a state car, and we can also travel by coach. But there is a difference between coach and bus. Again, my question is, do you know when we travel by coach and when we travel by bus? What is the difference? Both are big. They can store like about 50 or more people. Yes, Dagmara, Agnieszka, very well. Coach is for longer distances, longer trips, for travel. Rafał, Bartosz, exactly. Bus, we can find buses only in the cities or, you know, in the suburbs. They have a number and they are for shorter distances. Right, thank you for these answers. If we travel by car, definitely we need to visit petrol in Britain or gas in the USA station. What we do there, we fill up the car. Very often it can be diesel, so we take oil, but a very popular kind of fuel is unleaded petrol. Unleaded. So petrol without lead, environmental friendly. Yes, unleaded petrol. In Poland, we express fuel consumption in a different way. We say how many liters go to 100 kilometers. Yes, I'm right to say that. Yeah, but in English, you always say how many kilometers you can do on 1 liter. So they have, you know, it's funny, culturally funny. They just calculate it in a different way. Our measure is 100 kilometers, and there they try to establish how many kilometers they can do to the liter. If something goes wrong with your car, you have to go to garage. Mind that this word has 2 meanings, yes? A place where you store your car, or the place in which you repair your car, or simply service station. Okay, but traveling by car has got some traps, and one of them could be, you know, coming across these nice gentlemen with these devices when we break speed limit, when we exceed the allowed kilometers per hour or miles per hour, we can be stopped by the police patrol and we can be offered a fine or a ticket. These 2 words mean the same, and on the top of that we can score some penalty points, which is a little bit harmful. Let's look at some vocabulary connected with marine way of traveling and spending holidays. Traveling by ship, because Britain is a nation of sailors, they have special attention and emotional attitude to ships. Therefore, this is the only exception when they say about object she. I'm sure that all of you were taught that you can say she or he in English, only for people. Yes, I confirm it, but the example shows that we have one significant exception. For an English-speaking person, a ship will be always she. Types of ships: cruiser. So you're doing cruiser around Mediterranean Sea or Caribbean islands, you know, going slowly from harbor to harbor, or you can have a liner like poor Titanic used to be, right? So you go from point A to B. There's one line. There's no like cruising around. And a ferry, okay? Ferry takes normally people, takes cars, trucks, and like on the English Channel, takes trains. Okay. A few expressions. We are sailing on QE2, which stands for Big Luxury Ship Queen Elizabeth II. Our ship can set sail at noon and can dock in Plymouth at 6 p.m. So set sail means start the journey on the sea, and dock, finish. And then when you dock, you are asked to disembark, so to leave the ship. Okay, little quiz again. What do you do with your car at the petrol station? Do you hitchhike? Do you hire? At the petrol station, yes, dozens and dozens of answers. Thank you very much. This time all of you were absolutely right, and you fill up the car. Okay? Right, after the journey, this way or another, we hopefully reach the hotel. We're at the hotel, and yes, Gabriel, Monty Python, almost. Yes, this is John Cleese. At the hotel, you may ask, you may complain, you may want different objects. So let's look at some of them. Bedside table, a little table which you put near your bed with lamp, book, or I don't know, alarm clock. A blanket, you use it for covering yourself. A light bulb, maybe working or not working, so you want to change it. Plug. In some countries plugs are different and you need a special adapter in order to plug it in and, for example, charge your mobile. Shower curtain can be torn in the bathroom, or a tap in British English, or faucet in American English, can be leaking. A tap is a pipe which is just, you know, over your sink, and through the tap you get hot or cold water. The worst of them, I think, is a problem with the toilet flush. So these were nouns. Let's look at some verbs. We may ask to replace something, or to vacuum our room, or to wipe the floor, or to empty, for example, dustbin. Okay. Being at a hotel, as we mentioned that before, we can pay in advance, we can check at the reception, we can give a tip, we can call a porter, or we can call a chambermaid. A chambermaid is a lady who looks after our room, cleans, and makes sure that we have there everything that we need. But it may happen that your hotel doesn't meet your expectations, so there are some, I hope, useful phrases which you can use. I'm afraid there is something wrong with air conditioning. Oh, this one is very British. Sorry to bother you, but... Okay. Next one. The TV set in my room is not working, or air conditioning in my room is not working. This is the phrase that you can use for different types of situations. What kind of hotel services we can use, and how can we ask for them? Could I have a call, or could I have a wake-up call at 7:30, please? What time do you serve breakfast? Could we have a room service? I'd like an extra pillow or blanket, please. What time do you like rooms to be vacated by? This is the way you ask about the deadline for leaving your room. And the last one, could you put it on my bill, please? So if you're using extra services, extra than just renting a room, you can ask people at the reception to put it on your bill. In our traveling, we often come across different cultures, and here is a little humorous example of the way that you should adapt to the local conditions. You should remember that you are a visitor in a foreign country. And here we have some humorous, maybe not humorous, but examples of some social behaviors in different countries. So again, I would like to ask you, do you have any idea in which countries in the world you should always dress according to the situation? For example, even if you're not planning any visit in the sacred place like church or mosque, which countries require special style of dressing when you're visiting important places? Arabic countries, very good. Islamic countries, Italy, Gabriel, very good. India, Marek, yes. In India, you also have to observe certain dress code. Pakistan, Katarzyna, yes. But you don't have to go even that far away. But I'm sure that if any of you visited Italy, you won't be allowed to go into the church in very short trousers or short skirts or tops. Okay, let's try to identify another location. Do you know, can you guess, in which countries it's very difficult to do anything between noon and 2 p.m.? Shops are closed, restaurants are closed. Spain, again, Arabic countries, Italy. Oh, Bartosz, you said Switzerland. I didn't know that. Greece. Yes, so generally Portugal, generally countries in which the weather doesn't allow for functioning in a high noon, and then you have to take a break and don't expect much of the service in this time. Right, I'm a little bit malicious with this one. Which country doesn't like English people? France. Well, how do you know? Exactly. In France, it's always better to say few words in poor French rather than to start conversation in English, because their relationship, English-French relationship, is really complex, really complicated, and in some situations it's better not to start using this language. Yes, especially in Paris. Oh, Rafał, you said Poland. Okay, maybe it's because not many people know English. Right, French Canada. Maria, very good point. Yes, in Quebec, they are even more radical than French people. In which country you shouldn't order cappuccino after 10 a.m.? Definitely not Poland, because in Poland we drink cappuccino all day long. Yes, yes, so many yeses. It's my yes to Dorota, Tomasz, Marek, Monika. In Italy, cappuccino is traditional morning coffee. Of course, they will serve you cappuccino. Yeah, you're the client, but you will receive a lot of strange looks because nobody drinks cappuccino after 10 a.m. in Italy. Okay, countries in which you're expected to give 10% tips? In which countries? USA, Canada, Italy. Oh, somebody wrote all over the world. Germany, many of them. Exactly, right? Good, thank you. Poland, of course. And the last one's quite easy. Where in the world you are expected to say, excuse me, every now and then on all occasions? Yeah, Rafał, exactly. UK, Dorota, England, UK. Americans are not so polite. Definitely Brits are more overusing this expression. So while you're in Britain, say excuse me all the time, and they will think that you're a perfect speaker of English. Right. Let's look at holiday activities. What can we do? We can do a sightseeing tour, so we are going around and we're visiting temples, so churches, mosques. We are looking at some famous monuments. We can visit some castles, or look at famous statues like Statue of Liberty. In these activities we can get some help either from a human being, that is a guide, or from the guidebook. So please do not confuse these two. In Polish we have one word for both. In English, a guide is a living human being. A guidebook is something that you buy in paper. Right, so what else can we do? We can look around shops, buy souvenirs, we can spend a lot of money, we can take photos. Please pay attention to the verb. In English we take pictures, we take photos. And we can have a great time. Yes, of course, we can sunbathe. It will come in a second. Sometimes we can get lost, but hopefully it doesn't happen to us. This is about other people. Right, so if you're swimming, you're doing some physical activity, but you're just wanting to go into the water just for cooling down. It can be either a swimming pool or sea or lake or river. You bathe. So you can bathe in the water or you can bathe in the sun. So you sunbathe. Okay. You can snorkel or dive. Why there is a difference, or what is the difference between these two? Do you know when we do snorkeling and do you know when we do diving? What is the physical difference between these two types of going under the water? When do you snorkel and when do you dive? Anybody? Yeah, Bartosz, exactly. Diving is with this, heavy equipment. The same, Monica, Dorota, exactly. You need to have oxygen bottles and, all this stuff, and overall. Snorkeling is, I would say, easier. You need only a mask and you need a pipe. If you like walking, you can hike or go hiking. If you like mountains, what you do there, you climb or you go climbing. Generally, you can go on trips. A little quiz. We have quite a lot of people this evening, which is very, very nice that you devote 1 hour of your precious time to our meeting. And I wonder if you go somewhere for holidays, what kind of a person you are. Do you visit famous castles and palaces, or you're rather going for something like temples, cathedrals? Maybe your favorite place is disco or nightclub or art gallery. So I'm very curious, and I'm looking now at the chat box. I can see a lot of A and B. I can't see anybody going for C. Why? No people for discos this evening? Right. So you're quite serious visitors. You like visiting castles and palaces, temples, cathedrals. Oh, Małgorzata likes discos. No, Bartosz, we are not too old. Come on. Sylvia, why should I choose? Botanical gardens, Agnieszka, yes. Museums, no C because of children. Sometimes C, Katarzyna, yes, we know. But that was like, a little bit humorous to give some spice to this exercise. Right, let's imagine we're at the seaside. We can have some resorts, so famous places like Jurata in Poland or Saint-Tropez in France. We can have different types of beach. We can have sand beach or pebbled beach or rock beach. I'm sure that the first one and the last one are quite clear, but the one inside in the middle, pebbled beach, is the one that you can find, for example, in Croatia, in Spain, definitely in Britain. So little rocks, yeah, little stones. Again, I put the pronunciation in the brackets because you all know that this word is very close to another word which is taboo, and you have to be careful when you pronounce it. So please always say it with long E, like beach. Good. On the beach you will find an umbrella or a bed, beach bed, or you can also ask for or pay for extra towel. We want our holidays to be enjoyable and nice, but we want to get a tan. In order to do that, we need to protect our skin in order to avoid sunburn. How do we do this? By using suntan lotion or suntan cream. You can ask for high, medium, low protection, and of course the extreme protection is sunblock, which blocks, sun rays completely. Some of us like to spend holidays not in famous resorts, but they just want to get away from the city and spend some time in the country or countryside. Because, you know, the meaning of the word country doesn't mean only, you know, like Poland or Germany. It also means rural area outside a city. In these places you can find and enjoy peace, quiet, something which is also quite tranquility. So very nice, balanced way of living. So for those who love countryside, what you do, you put your feet up or you go for a stroll, and there is no stress, no big deal. You're just enjoying the circumstances. Some of you may enjoy hiking, but strolling in the country is probably a little bit more lazy and therefore nice. Imagine we are back from holidays. We want to share our experience with friends, colleagues at work, family. And you say, oh God, you know, Dubrovnik is a lovely place. But if you're fed up with the number of people in Venice, you can say, Venice is beautiful but always packed, meaning crowded. New York as a city is very cosmopolitan. Sao Paulo is a really lively place. A lively place, you know, life goes on 24 hours a day. People live on the streets and you know, they enjoy being there. Is Scotland worth visiting? I want to draw your attention to this phrase. When we use the word worth, the verb which is following is always in gerund. Oh, Piotr, you have to go? Okay, so we say goodbye to Piotr, but thank you very much for participating. See you next time. Yeah, so I can tell you, Scotland is definitely worth visiting, worth going, and worth trying their fantastic whiskey. Okay, so our last little quiz. Can you write in the chat box at least 3 expressions which you remember, which begin with the word sun? Yes, sunbathe, sunglasses, sun lotion, suntan, sun protector, sunrise. Yeah, Agnieszka, very good. We haven't mentioned that. We gave few examples, but you know, on this evening when it's getting cold and dark, it's nice to talk about sun and remember about nice summer days which are already gone. Right, so the last thing I want to show you is a new word which appeared in English. The word is staycation. It's also connected with spending your holidays, but have you got any clue what staycation stands for? Staycation. I think the picture gives you the clue. What kind of holiday it is? Dorota? Very good. Anna, Katarzyna, Rafał, Gabriel, Sylwia, Katarzyna, Patrick, fantastic. This is the way of spending holidays in a totally different way that we can expect. We have nice flats. Some of us may have nice houses, but we don't have time to be there because we work a lot. So I know some people, and sometimes I do it myself, I just take a few days off to stay at home and to enjoy my place. I turn off my phone. I do a lot of things which I can't do on everyday basis, and sometimes I feel even better than after long traveling. But you know, that was a digression. I wanted to show you a new word in English which is becoming surprisingly more and more popular. So maybe our style of spending vacations is also changing. Okay, so unfortunately it's time to say goodbye, but before we do that, I want to assure you that all these language items will be sent to you in more extended version, and I encourage you to ask questions in the chat box. While we're waiting for your questions, I ask Anya to make an announcement. So speak to you soon in a few minutes.
Bardzo dziękuję Ci, Ewo, za poprowadzenie tego spotkania. Państwu dziękuję za aktywny udział, ale tak jak Ewa mówiła, jest jeszcze czas na pytania, także bardzo proszę o wpisywanie. Za chwileczkę oddam Ewie głos. Także właśnie zapewniam Państwa, że otrzymacie materiały w przyszłym tygodniu. Myślę, że to będzie we wtorek. Link do nagrania i, no i listę słówek jeszcze tutaj poszerzoną. Ja zapraszam także serdecznie na nasze kolejne webinaria we wrześniu. Zaproszenia będziemy wysyłać w przyszłym tygodniu. I bardzo Państwa gorąco proszę o wypełnienie ankiety, która jest dla nas zawsze bardzo ważna, bardzo nam pomaga. Także gdy będziecie Państwo wychodzić z webinarium, proszę poświęcić nam jeszcze chwilę. A ja jeszcze chciałam Państwu dać chwilę na wpisywanie pytań i zaprosić jeszcze do tego, że gdy Państwo już z tych wakacji powracacie, chcecie się wziąć do roboty, jeśli chodzi o doskonalenie języka, to oprócz webinariów, oprócz kursów takich, jakie prowadzimy grupowe w firmach na przykład, zapraszamy serdecznie na takie prywatne, indywidualne lekcje języka obcego Flying Teacher. To jest jedna z naszych usług, gdzie lektor dojeżdża do domu, czy do firmy, czy do innego miejsca, gdzie chcecie się Państwo uczyć. Elastycznie ustalamy jakby ile godzin zajęć Państwu jest potrzebnych, jakich zajęć, jaki jest ten program. On jest indywidualnie dostosowany przez naszych lektorów. No i wszystko odbywa się też tutaj pod taką pełną opieką metodyczną naszych metodyków, których Państwo pewnie znacie tu z webinariów, między innymi Ewa właśnie, czy Piotr, Maciek, także serdecznie Państwa zapraszam. To jest fajna forma dla tych, którzy właśnie mają takie specyficzne potrzeby szkoleniowe, nie do końca się odnajdują czasowo, na przykład w takim schemacie zajęć grupowych, które zawsze się odbywają o konkretnej godzinie, w konkretne dni. A mimo to właśnie chcecie Państwo doskonalić swój język, uczestniczyć w zajęciach, swoje umiejętności takie niezbędne w pracy, czy przydatne właśnie podczas podróży doskonalić. Także zapraszamy do kontaktu z nami. Pewnie więcej informacji o tych szkoleniach jeszcze wyślemy do Państwa w materiałach. No i także służymy tutaj wszelką informacją pod tutaj naszymi danymi kontaktowymi. To teraz chyba oddam głos już Ewie. Widzę już tutaj pojawiły się jakieś pytania? Tak, jedno pytanie jest, także Ewo, oddaję.
Okay, so I've got the question from Andre. It was about this bit at the airport in security control. Andre is asking me what was the word for this very thorough search of people. You know, we go through this electronic gate, and on the top of that, you know, they search us with some electronic devices. It's called fisking. Okay, fisking. So I will send you more words that you could see now during our meeting on the slides. So a lot of extra vocabulary, including this word fisking, will be included in the materials. Yaroslav is asking about the way in which this webinar can be accessible. All our webinars are recorded and you can have access to them through a special link. And on Tuesday in the materials you will also get a link through which you can come back to our meeting. Unfortunately it won't be live like this time, which I enjoy very much because this is direct contact and interactive contact with you. So you can hear everything recorded and you can listen to it as many times as you wish. Thank you very much. I appreciate a lot the way that you interacted today, all your answers, your enthusiasm. Thank you very much, and I wish you all wonderful holidays either this year or next year, and maybe sometime, somewhere, you will use a bit of the knowledge which we shared with you today. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening. The weekend is coming, probably the last weekend of summer. Let's enjoy it. Okay, good night. Thank you very much.